Hey everybody, it's Shu. So Aether Revolt is out in Magic Duels, and I wanted to show you a deck I've been using for grinding the AI to get gold to buy more packs. I didn't have enough gold to buy the whole set on day one like I normally do because I didn't play as much during Khaladesh, but this deck doesn't have any Aether Revolt cards. I don't think it has any Khaladesh cards either, so it ought to be easy if you're a little behind to build and catch up on. I remember before I had posted a mono-red aggro deck, and some people had said, what do we do to replace Foundry Street Denizen? And the sad answer is, there's nothing you can do to replace Foundry Street Denizen. Now that that's gone, that deck is dead. And it got buried extra by the AI starting to be running decks that hedge against aggro and against quick wins, just sort of a way to regulate how quickly you can get gold. But this Bant Tempo deck, while not as fast as Mono Red, feels like it's pretty consistent and is pretty good at beating what the AI throws at you at a reasonable pace. And so I wanted to show you what I'm doing with it. You may notice I've got Liliana running on all my decks right now. They added purchasable personas, which is pretty cool. And Liliana is, like, bar none, my favorite character in Magic, so Bant doesn't make a lick of sense for her, but she's running my Bant deck. Deal with it. Okay, so got 24 lands, 32 creatures. It's a very much a tempo deck. I wanted to show you what we have. I'll focus more on some cards than others. Kythian here of Akros, I shouldn't need to tell you it's good. Selfless Spirit, also good. Evasive damage, protect our guys, blah blah. Dauntless River Marshal is a little weird. It's in here because it can be a 3-2 for 2, and because it's 4 mana ability, really helps us push through to the end to finish games. The island thing is a little tricky because blue is the least represented color in this deck, and so we can't afford to run lots and lots of islands, but we have a few ways of getting those things, and it's also not incredibly important that it be a 3-2. The ability is the best part, and being a 2-1 is fine, but we have some ways to get the island just to get the extra advantage out of it. When you do get Dauntless Marshal with an island, it's just a great card. Sylvan Advocate, obviously. Duskwatch Recruiter. This is another obvious inclusion, but I wanted to talk about it a little bit anyway. When we're running in the late game, if for some reason we haven't put it away, its mana ability helps us dig for more guys. If we are on the play, putting it out on turn 2 makes it really easy to get it to flip over to Krowlin Horde Howler and start running out more guys. This is what I want on turn 2 more than any other card. And it plays really nicely with a few other things that we've got, which I'll get to. Declaration of Stone, it's a good removal, it's cheap, it's exactly what a tempo deck needs. Thalia Heretic Cathar is one of those things that works nice with Duskwatch Recruiter. Since its non-basic lands, opponent's non-basic lands enter tapped, that makes it harder for them to play things that will keep Duskwatch Recruiter unflipped. And extra bonus, because it makes creatures enter it tapped, it keeps their blockers down, and it makes it really hard for the AI to crew vehicles, which are things we're going to see a whole lot of from the AI, especially the new Aether Sphere Harvester, which is otherwise a huge pain in the ass for us. Bygone Bishop. Evasive damage, helps us draw if we're somehow running out of gas. Good card. Nissa, honestly, you don't normally get to flip her. She's here because she can get us a land to keep the wheels going, and if she flips, then we just win. Tireless Tracker's amazing. Reclamation Sage. I mentioned the vehicles. Having this is really good to beat those guys up. And the AI also likes running artifact creatures because of the Khaladesh Aether Revolt cards. So anytime we can play something that's basically a green Necrotal, that is, it drops in and it kills a guy and we still have something to swing with, that's amazing value. This guy gives us tons of tempo. Speaking of tons of tempo, holy shit, this guy's still unfair, so keep running it. Citadel Castellan is one of the weaker cards. If it gets through, we're probably already winning, but it's a good way to make sure of it, and it's also nice to have something that drops without needing any blue, and that can still take the game away on its own. It also works nice with Thalia, because they'll have a harder time putting out blockers for it, so hell yeah. And with Dauntless River Marshal, because we can tap down blockers. Bounding Krasis, speaking of tapping down blockers, this guy's amazing. You flash it in at the end of their turn, And not only do they now have 3 more damage that they weren't prepared to deal with, but you tap down a blocker, so another guy is getting through also. This guy is amazing. If you have to play it defensively, it can eat things that the opponent didn't expect and turn the board in your favor. Hopefully you don't have to play defensively, but if you do, Krasis is good for that too. Gisela, Broken Blade, Angelic Destiny, Gideon, Avacyn, Gear Hulk, all just ways to go over if we stall out. I really like Gear Hulk because it gives you damage that you can use right now. Same with Angelic Destiny. Gideon and Gisela are just sort of like the best options that we have for like a way to just easily put a game out without having to cost too much mana. And yeah, here's our mana situation. You notice we got 2 islands here, and then 2 islands in the form of Prairie Stream. 4 doesn't sound like a ton, but we also have Evolving Wilds. And most of the time we can run Evolving Wilds without suffering too much tempo loss, so it ought to be fine. So yeah, that's the deck. Let's show it in action. Okay, well, our mana situation is beautiful, but we can't just run to Citadel Castle on. That's too slow. We have to mull this. That doesn't work. Hey, there we go. Okay. So turn 2 we can put out, or turn 1 we can Evolving Wilds for an island. Turn 2 put out Dauntless River Marshal, and then turn 3 we can play with that. Since we're playing first, our situation ought to be fine. On 3 I think we'll probably put down Thalia so that we can keep holding the advantage. That's not bad after a couple mulls. And we will be just fine on our color representation, so that's good. We'll be able to have every color that we run on turn 3. Okay, so slightly awkward in that we can't safely attack into it this turn, but that's fine. Put out Thalia, and then with Krasis and Reflector Mage we'll have plenty of options to start beating through. And also with River Marshal, honestly, we could do that. But I mean, we should prefer to get tempo with things that affect the board anytime we can. Thalia made oh, well, their land would have come in and tapped anyway because they didn't have anything to work with Glacial Fortress. But that's good. If their lands come in tapped, they have a harder time building a board. We already have 3 guys to their 0. The thing we just bounced, they can't play next turn. And this is a board of fairly tough customers. Nice vehicle, it doesn't do anything. Because you don't have any crew. And the next creature that they play in to crew that vehicle will come in tapped anyway, so it doesn't matter. And we've got Bounding Krasis if we need to stop that vehicle from swinging on us. This deck would be really soft to the new black Expertise and to Languish, so be careful if you see that being run. That's more of a concern for running against people. This is for beating up AI. I'm not saying it wouldn't work against people, but you have to be a little more concerned about things you might see in the meta, like mass removal, which the AI rarely runs. So, we should put that out there just in case. Boom. It could have played the guy that we bounced back to hand, but he'd come in tapped, so the computer sort of felt hopeless and decided not to play it at all. Let's put in another game. So that was good. Normally a big 3/5 flyer that has lifelink conditionally would be a nightmare for a tempo deck, but because we can stop them from being able to actually use it, well, didn't really matter at all. We're going first, so that's nice. Alright, all our colors taken care of. Yeah, we got turn 2 and 3. Hell yeah, let's do it. Since we can't play anything on turn 1, we're going to use this to opportunity to take the tempo loss at no real loss and put out that. Probably need white more. Next turn we can play Sylvan, then Thalia, and start just busting through. Or we might play Citadel Castellan and then Thalia. Nah, well, who knows? We'll see. We'll see what the situation calls. Oh, well, that changes our turn 2 plans. And then we're almost certainly going to follow up with Thalia now because of how nicely it plays with Duskwatch Recruiter. Hell yeah. Actually, yeah. Oh no. We probably should have played the plane so we could play out River Marshal and Thalia, and then turn 4 we could have the River Marshal's tap ability up, but this is fine. They still don't have any creature, and the next thing they play is going to come in tapped anyway. But next turn we should definitely play River Marshal and get that ready for tapping down anything that will come out. Yeah, we don't want that thing coming back on us. We are so far ahead that I'm completely okay taking damage. Okay. Alright, so we'll want to keep up mana this turn for tapping down the double striker, because we don't want it to keep hitting us and keep hitting us. And sadly we are just shy of killing him this turn. We waited until the attack phase because thought it might be nice to see if we could bait them into spending like auras or something to try to make their guy big. Be a good tempo loss to make them do that. You know, I laughed at their life gain, but it did keep them alive. That said, still a bad card, don't run it. Unless you have lots of things to take care or take advantage of Revolt anyway. can see kind of the tension on our blue mana here, that we only have one source, and if we had two, we could use River Marshal and play out this guy. But I don't think it's going to matter. Looks like we got this. Yep, there you go. So not nearly as fast as the mono red, but it's fairly consistent, and I have not had any problems with it. Give it a try.